All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patience. Thank you very much for those of us that joined in when we joined in. Thank you very much for being a part of the first training session for the Learn Microsoft 365. I welcome you all to this amazing training. Um, First of all, okay, we have 28 people, so it's good to start with them. Just pray that others will join in as we move along. Okay. So first of all, I would like to do a brief introduction of myself as well as the organization and my colleague who is also here. And then I would like us to also introduce ourselves so that we can get familiar with one another as we move along in this training, because the training is built to last for 1 month. That's estimatedly 1 month. That's all Saturdays in the month of May. And should need be, it might get extended, to June, should need be, but that will be communicated to us. Because the SharePoint and OneDrive training alone is going to cover 2 Saturdays. And then the Exchange training might cover 2 Saturdays. And you see, that means that all Saturdays in the month of May would have been used or used up completely. So we will now be left with Microsoft Teams training. And then we are also supposed to do some introduction to us on Power Automate, and as well as Microsoft Security and Azure Active Directory, just to gauge our interest in all of these. So, but nonetheless, before that particular time, we would always communicate that with every one of us would be kept informed. So, first of all, before I go on to introduce myself, I want to sincerely apologize for the pause we had last year for this training. I know some of us who are here now were with us last year when we started out this training, but for one reason or the other, we had to pause the training and we did not properly inform every one of us as to the reasons why we had to suspend the trainings. But we are back now, we are better now, we built better capacity to ensure that we completely start this training and then we complete it on the available dates that we've set to complete this training. Okay, so please stay tuned, and I'm very, very accessible. You can always communicate with me directly or my colleague if you have any questions, if you have suggestions, if you have ideas, if you would like to have partnerships with us, and anything at all, whatever it is that you feel led to speak to us about, please feel free to reach out to us privately at any point in time. We're always here to respond to you and see how we can come together and make the partnership or make your suggestions a reality. So my name is Kingsley Izurike. I'm a Microsoft 365 consultant with Hobby Technologies. So what we do basically is to advise organizations that are trying to scale up their infrastructure or trying to migrate their resources to Microsoft 365. So basically, we do more of Microsoft 365. We are not limited to Microsoft 365, but Microsoft 365 is the major tool that we use to solve problems that organizations encounter, organizations have. So that's the major tool we utilize. Why we picked Microsoft 365 above all others is because of the seamless integrations with other third-party applications. So we feel that it is cost-effective, it integrates seamlessly, and it is a viable tool that we can prefer to organizations should need be. So we've helped some organizations to perform some successful migrations of their resources to Office 365. We've also helped startups to better understand what Microsoft 365 can do for them, the kind of licenses that they can use, the kind of resources and services that they will need within Microsoft 365 framework. So this is basically what we do. And we also offer trainings, not just trainings for startup organizations, but trainings for industry experts also, those trying to scale up their knowledge, or those trying to understand a new services that Microsoft is preferring. So that's basically what we do in Orbit Technology. So one of the reasons why we had to suspend the training last year was because we had about 3 clients last year that were helping to migrate resources to Office 365, as well as structure their business, still stay with them in a consultancy basis to ensure that they come up to speed with the knowledge and utilization of Office 365 before we could completely do a handover of their resources and management to them. But there are still some that up to date, we still give them some advisories, on things that they need to know, how they can integrate with other solutions and all that. So that's because we lack necessary manpower. So we had to channel all our energies to ensure that these organizations are up to speed with technology. They're trying to use technology to scale up their businesses. So, but now we are light, and then we see the need to ensure that we train people, we give people the necessary knowledge that they need in Microsoft 365. This is a very, very interesting skill. It's a very, very viable skill. It's a skill that will be relevant in 10 years to come. I tell you, it's a skill that will remain relevant in 10 years to come. So let's open our hearts and open our minds to ensure that we learn this. Okay, and then if you have questions, please always feel free to ask whatever question it is. If you don't want to verbally ask the question, you can type it out on the chat box, but please ask questions, because questions is why we have these trainings, not just the facilitators speaking from beginning to the end. No, it's best we ask questions. That's the best way that we all can learn. Okay. So I think my colleague is right here. I want him to introduce himself, and then we will start with others. Babs, are you here?
Yes, please.
All right.
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. It's such an honor to be here and also to be back to kickstart this. It's been a long time, and it's good to be back. So I believe my Oga already said it all already, so it's nothing much to say. So by the name, my name is Babs, and I'm also a Microsoft 365 administrator. So um, I believe as time goes on, you get to know more about what we do and how we achieve things. So that's all I have to say for now. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Babs. So I would like us to introduce ourselves. All you just need to tell us is your name, what you do if you feel free to share, as well as your competence with Microsoft 365, so that we'll try to gauge, so that we don't go so technical and then you're lost, or we don't go so basic and then you're wondering, why am I here? Because I believe that we have industry experts here, as well as we have those who are trying to kickstart a career in Microsoft 365, so that we can try to balance the scale. Okay. So let me go with the list I have here for my screen. First, just give me 1 minute, okay? All right. Thank you very much for waiting. So the first question I will ask us is, why do you want to study, or why do you want to learn Microsoft 365? What is that unique thing about Microsoft 365 that you feel it's a skill you want to have beyond the recognition, beyond the certification? Now we're just speaking skill base. Why do you think that it's a skill that will remain relevant in this time and in years to come? there are a whole lot of skills out there that I'm very sure that most of us have those skills. But you feel like there is still a need to add Microsoft 365 to your existing skill, or there is a need to kickstart your career with Microsoft 365, or you see that there are opportunities out there that you can harness within the Microsoft 365 space, or you feel that it's an opportunity for you to leverage Microsoft 365 solutions to scale your businesses or scale your career. So whatever this question that you might have joining in is, please, Babs, sorry, 1 minute, please, Babs, help me reach out to people that are having issues or so joining in, and or please help me look into it. I won't be able to be responding to chats now. Thank you.
I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So whatever that question is, Microsoft 365 answers it all. And do you know the funny thing? The beautiful thing about this is that we've all been using Microsoft 365 for a very long time. Maybe sometimes we didn't even know that this thing is Microsoft 365. We just knew it then as Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft SharePoint, OneDrive, Outlook. We just knew it then as an independent solution. But coming together, what then is Microsoft 365, and what do we need Microsoft 365 for? What problem is Microsoft 365 aiming to solve in this time? What problem is Microsoft 365 aiming to solve for us in this time? Look at this from a global standpoint. There are so many IT problems ranging from cyber attacks to productivity in a workplace, to automations, just name this, just to name a few. You see that Microsoft 365 have a lot of solutions that can help mitigate cyber attacks or mitigate data breaches. It has a lot of solutions that can help you maximize productivity. It has a lot of solutions that can help you speed up time with automations. And there is also the integration of AI into every component of Microsoft 365. And we know that we're in the age of digital transformation, whereby AI is the in thing. Now, people don't really necessarily think outside the box anymore. Nobody has that time to spend the whole day thinking of how to come up with presentations or thinking of how to go about solving a particular problem or carrying out troubleshootings for different clients. Now, everybody wants to go to AI. AI is the first call. Type in whatever it is there. AI gives you an idea, maybe not the entire resolution, but AI gives you an idea to the resolution. You see it, and then you have an idea of how to go about it. So AI has been a very helpful tool. And the beautiful thing about AI is just beyond the query. It's beyond you just typing in something and then it gives you a resolution, or it gives you an output. You can use AI to get your Excel presentation, your spreadsheet presentation done. You can even upload images, upload different documents to AI, and then have it optimize that particular document for you. You can even have AI as a tool that can help you optimize your CV. You see people paying individuals for CV optimization. You don't need all of that, where you can use your Copilot to achieve all of these things. So you see that Microsoft 365 is an integral part of our society. There is nothing you do today that you don't see Microsoft 365 in all of these. Be it in your presentations, be it in your cyber activities, be it for saving or protecting your infrastructure, be it for just having access to software over the internet. Whatever you want to think about, be it organizing your emails, organizing your day-by-day activities, anything, streaming videos, just think of anything that you want to think of. Microsoft 365 is there to solve that particular problem and meet that particular need for you. So Microsoft 365 is basically a cloud-based solution. please, I would like us to mute our mics, okay? Microsoft 365 is basically a cloud-based solution that helps aid collaboration, email organization, optimize business functionality, and then meet productivity. It can also help you to scale your business process. So if you are a small scale business and you want to expand your business portfolio, Microsoft 365 have every aspect that can help you expand. It's just like how people say, traditionally that Lagos State is a state for everybody. Like whoever you are, you can come to Lagos State and thrive. So you see there's the rich class in Lagos, the middle class, the low class, and every class survive in Lagos in whatever you do. So that's similar to how Microsoft 365 is scale-wise. So it's scalable in that if you're an enterprise organization, Microsoft 365 has services and solutions that can meet your enterprise solutions, your enterprise organization. If you are just a little small business owner, like a small medium enterprise, Microsoft 365 have licenses and products that can meet that particular business need. Okay, if you're a mid-scale business owner, Microsoft 365 have services that can meet your mid-scale business need. Okay, so it is a universal solution for every business type. And it's not only for business owners, even private individuals. You're using Microsoft 365 for different needs, your personal need, you want to collaborate with some of your family members, you want to collaborate with your peers and all. We have the Microsoft Teams that can help you achieve all of these things. So you see that we've been using Microsoft Teams for a long time before we even knew that, this is a part of Microsoft 365 core business application. So you would see that Microsoft 365 has always been there, looking at us in the face, but we've not really identified that, this thing will be a very important skill in the future. So all we've had, the knowledge we've had over the years has been the knowledge of usage. So we just use, plug and play. But now the knowledge that we want to give to us is the knowledge beyond usage. We are going to give us both the administrative knowledge and the usage knowledge. And because I know that usage is never ever enough. Anybody can use Microsoft 365 services. Anybody can use it. Is it not to send and receive email? Is it not to block a calendar? Is it not to save your contacts in Outlook? Anybody can use Microsoft 365. There is little or nothing as a problem that you will encounter with the usage of Microsoft 365 applications, whatever it is. But in terms of the administrative aspect of Microsoft 365, where you need to organize this for a whole lot of users, organize this for an enterprise or a business organization, that is where the knowledge is mainly required. And that's why you see people telling you that they are SharePoint administrators, because they manage SharePoint resources for an organization. So you're not just doing this for one individual. You're not just using it as an individual. No, you're trying to ensure that everybody within the fulcrum of that organization is enjoying the service that SharePoint is rendering. So that is your responsibility. And that is the major angle that we will be coming from when we talk to you about Microsoft 365. So look beyond the usage, because I could send you a Teams chat or maybe on our channel, I could just send you an information on the channel. You read it and acknowledge, and that's it. That ends it. But do you really know what Teams channel is? Do you really know what you can do with Teams channel functionality? This is just an example. Do you know how to create one? So all of these things are the basic and major knowledge that we were looking to impact to us. And we know that as we go along, we would really gain so much. Oh, okay. So sorry, I just had to go to the chat again. Large scale enterprise, even as a single business owner, you can still utilize Microsoft 365, Let's say, for instance, you want to create appointments and, you have this business, maybe a consulting business or a spa business, for instance, and then people don't just walk into your spa. They need to book, appointments, set appointment dates and all. We have Microsoft Bookings that can help handle that. You can utilize Microsoft Bookings. I can help you, block certain dates, create appointments, and all of these things. It gives you an alert when that particular date is approaching. You can just make different configurations to meet your business need. So Microsoft 365 is available for everyone. We have the Microsoft 365 for personal, and we have Microsoft 365 for business. So whichever one that suits your business need, you can always utilize Microsoft 365. It's available for everyone. Okay. Oh, book publisher. Okay, I see one. Oluwatobiloba Oyewole. I am okay, Toby. Toby is a book publisher. Toby, welcome on board. Okay, welcome on board. It's good to have you here. Good to have you here. Okay. Okay, you want to switch. You love to switch. Oh, it's a very interesting career path. It's a very interesting career path. In fact, estimated salaries for technical support engineers is about $24,000 per year. $24,000 per year. And that particular figure can be a little less in this part of the world, in Nigeria, because we understand how the country is, and then we understand that most recruiters now, foreign recruiters, are now trying to take advantage of the fact that the country is as beautiful as it is, and then that they try to reduce the estimated amounts that they would want to offer to you. They would want to take advantage to reduce that. I applied for one particular remote job some time ago, and when the recruiter asked me how much is my estimated monthly, I told them $2,000. Right, quite straight ahead, and the recruiter raised the alarm, that's too much. We can't afford it. I said, okay, how about $1,000? They still could not afford $1,000, and you're going to be a Microsoft 365 administrator. So I said, man, this is not something I can do. So they were looking between $500 to $800 in a month, and you can see how crazy that figure is. A figure that is supposed to be much more than that. Since you're working from this part of the world, it's supposed to be much more than that as a Microsoft 365 administrator, not just limited to one aspect of Microsoft 365. So it's a very formidable career path, and it opens you up to other aspects of IT that you can delve into. So from Microsoft 365, you can decide to go into system administration. From Microsoft 365 as a technical support engineer, you can decide to delve into cybersecurity. From Microsoft 365 as a technical support engineer, you can go into being a cloud architect. As a Microsoft 365 technical support engineer, you can go into being a consultant for Microsoft 365. You partner with Microsoft 365, and then you render their services to organizations in Nigeria. So there are a lot of there's a large scale of what you can do or what you can become from Microsoft 365 technical support. So I don't want any of us to limit ourselves to just Microsoft 365 technical support. I see it as just the basis. It's just the elementary aspect. That's where you're starting out with, but don't end up being that. Even if you're making, I will encourage you, even if you're making the money as a technical support engineer, please upscale. Please upscale. Go into a core IT business business course. Okay, you can be a DevOps engineer. You can go into, just look out for what will remain relevant for the next 10 years. DevOps, cloud or AI security, information security, go into data analysis, business analysis. There are a whole lot of IT product design, product analysis. There are a lot of IT skills that you can, upscale into. Okay, don't just be limited to technical support, because technical support can be very limiting at a point. Okay, if you even look at the remote jobs or remote opportunities for core IT courses, you see that they pay much more than the technical support remote jobs. So it's best that you keep on upscaling yourself. Don't just limit yourself. If you're making $1,000 a month today, what stops you from making $5,000 a month? What stops you from making $10,000 a month? So don't always limit yourself. Always see Microsoft 365 as the tools that you need to get to that particular level that you want to get to. Okay. And even in Microsoft 365, the Power Automate functionality is a low code, no code functionality whereby you don't need so much knowledge of JavaScripting or writing so much codes, you know. There is even the Linux administration too, but we'll still get to that. So there are a whole lot of IT skills that you can gain to ensure that you're relevant and ready for our ever-changing age. So let me just quickly sign into. Another thing I want us to know about this training is that this training is strictly practical. We are not doing anything theoretical. Okay, we're not showing you slides of different information. No, we are going to be showing you from the admin center itself. So I'll quickly share my screen so that I will introduce us to what we are in for. It's going to be a beautiful 1 month. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to open because I have a lot of tabs opened on my system. I don't want to close them. So let me just try to go straight to Microsoft 365 page. I've opened this already. Still all right, so I'm sharing my screen now. So you let me know when you can see my screen. So please let me know if my screen is visible. Can we see my screen? Hello, can we still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
All right,
Your
all right.
screen
So
is
is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so this is my test environment, Microsoft 365. I have an enterprise, is it enterprise developer E5 license. So I have access to every functionality within Microsoft 365. So this is a typical admin center for Microsoft 365. Sorry for our industry experts. You know, we have guys here that are also beginners, so I'll have to start from the beginning with them. So sometimes the training can be a bit, I know this one already now. I know this one already now. This one is already, I'm used to all these ones. Go to the core ones. So you just have to bear with me. So I'll just carry everybody along at the same time. Please, I want us to mute our mics, okay?
I can't see the screen.
Oh, you can't see it?
Okay, I'm seeing it now.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right. So this is the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. This is the administrative center. So only administrators usually have access to this particular admin center. Okay, you can see the admin button on the left pane. So when you sign into Microsoft 365 Admin Center, be it as an administrator or a user, an administrator is someone that manages the Microsoft 365 resources for an organization. A user is just simply a user, okay? So when you sign in, you see the 365 portal where you can go into different functionalities on the left pane. Okay, so you can either, if you are a user, it means that you're limited to what you see on this left pane. But when you see these 9 ellipses that are on the left pane here, when you click on it, you will see the different services that your administrator subscribed you to. Okay, the different services that you have access to. And most times you're always having access to the Outlook, OneDrive, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, SharePoint, Teams, Engage, and a few others. You might not see Power Automate and Admin, but a few others you would see them. Okay. But as an administrator, you know, like I shared with us, I want to take us more into administration, not just usage. Because if it's usage, what we'll simply do is to click on maybe SharePoint and go straight to the usage aspect of SharePoint and then start looking into it and talking about it and then telling us what it is. We will see those ones, but we will not dwell so much in them. Okay, we want to dwell more in the administrative aspect because most of us will get jobs and freelance gigs as administrators. So that's where you need to know more and focus more on. And then on the left pane, you see admin. So all you just need to do is to click on the admin center. So you see Copilot here. When you sign in after some time, you will see an option to either have Copilot show up on this pane or not. But me, I wanted the thing to show up. So what this means is that you can query Copilot. If you're new to Office 365, you can use Copilot as your guide to go through the different services in Office 365. Ask Copilot different questions. You can even use it to improve your writing, you know, improve your skill, your thinking skills, your composition skills, and whatever you want to do within Microsoft 365. Copilot is here as your guide. It's here to guide you. And as the name implies, co-pilot. So it's not the main pilot. You are a pilot as well as co-pilot. It's just a co-pilot. It's just joining you to ensure that your day-to-day usage of Microsoft 365 is top-notch. That's what Copilot helps you to achieve. You know, it helps you save time in all you do. So something that you will use 5 hours to get done, you can do it in 15 minutes because you have Copilots. Okay, so please, I want to encourage us, if you're not using Copilot, make sure that you're using Copilot from now. Keep on using Copilot from now. It will really, really help you save a whole lot. Okay, so I'll just go straight to the admin center so that we'll see everything that we have in Microsoft 365. Okay. All right, so this is a typical Microsoft 365 admin center. And you know, from our Learn Microsoft 365, we said we are going to be focusing on Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Microsoft Teams, as well as OneDrive. Then we'll just do a brief through on some other relevant Microsoft 365 skills that are very, very relevant today, like security, Microsoft cybersecurity, as well as looking at Azure Active Directory, and then Power Automate, because these are skills that sometimes we always leave out when we train people on Microsoft 365. We only look at the core ones like the SharePoint, OneDrive, and Teams. So when you come into the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, okay, for those who are just starting up their career in Microsoft 365, before you have access to this Admin Center, it means that you would have to get a license. Microsoft 365 is a software, offers software as a service. And software as a service is having all the applications or having access to all the applications over the internet. That's software as a service. Okay, so before you have access to this, you will need to purchase a license. It is that license that gives you the gate pass to have access to this. And the beautiful thing about Microsoft 365 is that you can get a 30-day free trial license. A 30-day trial license, okay, of any license at all, be it business basic, apps for business, business standard or business premium. You can get that license, you know, to kickstart your career in Microsoft 365 or to look at the interface and then try to master all the services that we have here. And the beautiful thing about that license is that you can still extend it further by another 30 days. So if you have the license for 1 month, you can still do another 1 month extension of the license. So you have like practically 2 months to get on board Microsoft 365 and then learn or use the functionalities as you need to, be it upskilling or be it learning afresh. Okay. But what I would do for us here is I would try to create a user account on my tenants, okay, that we will have access to for the benefit of this training, so that this will help us to sign into. But you will have to sign, but you will have to sign an agreement so that when you're signing into the admin center, you will not go and change all the configuration and then sign me out of this tenant. You have to sign that agreement so that I don't end up losing my tenants. Okay, but I would create a user account that we will have access to so that we can, on our own, while we are learning, we can sign in, create policies, create rules, try to create lists, and just see how it works, see how it is, So I will leave that particular account throughout the period of our training. You can just keep on working on something. And if you have questions, something you're not clear about, you can either ask Babs or ask myself, okay? We have other facilitators that are lined up to handle different aspects of this solution. So aside myself and Babs, you would still see some other persons from next week that would come in. And then, so if you have any questions, you can always ask any of us, okay, regarding the technology that we are introducing you to. So over time, because we believe that that is the only way that you can learn and come to terms with this, you would have tried to go on Udemy or Coursera or YouTube to learn these things. The courses or the materials are everywhere, but the difference that we are giving to you is that we want you to have the practical insight. It is more of do it yourself. We don't want to take your hand and do it for you. We will show you how to do it, but we want you to do it yourself, because we believe that it is when you do it yourself that you will master it. The more you do it yourself, the more you get to master it yourself. Okay. So on the left pane, you will see the different functionalities that we have here. Okay. All of these lead you to different admin centers as well as different service pages on the left pane. Okay, you see the home page, which is where we are now. We have the home page where you can edit to your tastes. You want light mode, dark mode, customize the dashboard. You want to remove these admin assigned rows here. You want to delete it. You want to move something else here. Or however you want to arrange it, it's left for you. So on the left pane, we have our Copilot, we have our users. So the first thing you do when you sign up for Microsoft 365 is to create users. Users, people that would tend to use these particular services. So you have to create users. So we are in an organization in Hobby Technologies, and we are all staff. So if I'm the IT admin, what I need to do is to come down here and create everybody. I need to ensure that we have everybody's information on this particular page. Okay, so when you go to active users, you would see the users that we have here, okay, on the admin center. So what you just need to do is to add users. So since we are many, I don't need to go to add users one by one, because this will just keep adding one after the other, and it's time consuming. So what do I need to do? I need to add multiple users. So what I'll need to do is to go to the functionality that says add multiple users. Okay. So when I come here, I add multiple users, I can decide to add now. You see, you can enter up to 249 users at a go. And then all users are automatically given a temporary password, which they can change once they sign in. Okay. Once they sign in, they can always change. And you can always do this by uploading, which is faster, uploading a CSV with the user information. But the CSV file must come in these templates.
first name, last name, username, and domain. It must come in these templates, okay, before you can upload it here. That's how you add users to Office 365. Then we have our contacts page. So we can have different contact information here. We have guest users, those that are not in your organization and you want them to we call them guests. You want them to maybe see a particular resource like maybe Microsoft Teams, join a meeting in Teams, or whatever it is you want them to do within your organization. You don't want them to have full eyes in every other aspect of Microsoft 365. Maybe you just want them to see one particular aspect of Microsoft 365. Maybe they're trying to do something for you, or they're trying to be involved in a meeting or something. You can always add them here as a guest user. Okay, deleted users. If you delete a user from the active user, you will see all of them lined up in deleted users. These are the different accounts I deleted yesterday, just to create room in case I'm gonna be creating users for this training. So these are the different users I deleted, and this particular information only stays here for 30 days before it is completely deleted from the 365. Now we have here teams and groups. We have roles. We have resources. Teams and groups is different. So when we go to Microsoft Teams training, we'll get to know what teams are. Teams in Teams. So Teams is just like a group. You know, you're creating a group of people in a particular 365 Microsoft 365 group for collaboration. You want them to have access to different resources. You want to communicate with them on different things. You can create them and add them to a Teams group. Okay, Teams group is also like a Microsoft 365 group. And so here we can check the different active Teams group. We can check the different policies. Then if you delete a group, it shows here. And then we have shared mailboxes. Shared mailboxes is more like giving users permissions or privilege to a particular mailbox, be it for collaboration, sharing of information, and what have you. So that's shared mailboxes. You know, it doesn't have a license. It doesn't require a license, although you can assign a license to it. So the only time you can assign a license to a shared mailbox is if you want to use it to sign in to the admin center. Okay, but it doesn't require a license. You can give people permissions to a particular shared mailbox for collaborative purposes. So we have roles here. We have role assignment and administrative units. So these roles is just to give the different roles, like different administrative roles in Microsoft 365. So we know that those that have the highest possible role is the global administrators. They are called the global administrators. So they have the full functionality of Microsoft 365 services. They can go into different admin centers. They can assign permissions. They can do different things at different times. They can even delete another admin. So they have that full functionality. But in all of these, we have other administrators, not just the global administrators, in that I don't want to give this person access to SharePoint. I only want this person to be limited to Exchange Online. I give the person an Exchange administrator role. Okay, we have the application administrator, application developer. These are all attack simulation administrator. That's when we get to our security and compliance aspect of Microsoft 365. We have attribute assignment administrator. We have authentication administrator. We have different administrators that are only going to be in charge of an aspect of Microsoft 365, not the full aspect of Microsoft 365. Okay, we have compliance administrator, conditional access administrator. This one is when we get to our Azure Active Directory, we will see the conditional access functionality, how it works, what it is used for, and all that. Data analysis, desktop analysis administrator. So these are all the admins that we have in Office 365. These are all the different, we even have the Teams administrator, Teams voice administrators, Teams device administrators, Yammer administrators. Just look at all. User experience success manager, user administrator, just name it. So these are all the administrators we have in Office 365. Now we have resources, rule on equipment. These are mailboxes that we use to create meetings for a particular organization. Okay, so we also have the marketplace. This has to do more with licenses. You want to get licenses, you want to purchase licenses, you want to upgrade your licenses, you can utilize the marketplace. Okay. Billings is if you want to do something about your existing license, maybe it's getting close to expiration, you can just come down to billings, and then from here you can try to extend the license or try to see the license that you have. And then whatever you want to do with that license, you want to change your billing account, you want to assign the license to somebody, you can do that within this page. Okay, you can come here to see your different licenses, the licenses that you have within your organization. Can you hear me? Please, hope you can hear me. I heard someone's voice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I thought someone was trying to ask a question. Oh, okay. All right. So we have licenses page. So you see the different licenses that you have. How many users have you assigned the license to? How many seat count is remaining? Now, when you see 3 of 25, any license you see that is being slashed to 25, it shows you that most times it's a trial license. Most times it's always a trial license. However, there can be organizations that have just 25 users in the whole organization and they just have 25 licenses, which is a different case. But most times when you see a license like this, it shows you that I've only assigned 3 licenses to my users out of a possible 25 licenses in the bulk. So I still have about 22 licenses remaining that I can assign to users. If I create more users, I can still assign about 22 licenses to my users. But if this license expires, for instance, it means that I will have to purchase a new license. And purchasing a new license does not come with 25 seat counts. It comes as individual license. So I need to increase or decrease the number of license that I want to purchase for users within my organization. I will be the one in control of that. There's a space whereby I can either manually input the total license, or I just keep on increasing or decreasing the number of licenses I want to purchase for my organization. So this is where you manage your license for your organization. Bill and payments. Bill and payments is just when you want to make purchases. You want to buy a license, you want to cancel a subscription, whatever you want to do within bill and payment, you do within that, you do it in the bill and payment option. Okay. Or you want to even change your billing account. Maybe the account you're using, existing account, it's not, you want to change it. Maybe your someone is leaving, your billing administrator is leaving the organization. You want to get a new billing administrator because it's a billing administrator aside a global admin that can have access to doing anything within the billings page. Okay, we saw the different administrators in the previous roles option. So if you are a billing admin, for instance, maybe your global admin gave you the billing admin rights. It means that you're handling billings for that organization. You might not have access to the Exchange Online Admin Center. You might not have access to the SharePoint Admin Center. You might not have access to other functionalities within Microsoft 365. They're only telling you, hey, focus on billing. Help us look at our licenses. Help us renew licenses. Help us cancel some subscriptions. Help us to manage everything regarding our billings. Okay, so if you want to change that, you can always change that here. So same with payment method. So you can always have choose the different payment method that you want to use to pay. So we know now that Naira card does not work anymore with Microsoft 365. I don't know if anyone have used Naira card to purchase. The last time I used was a Providus card, and that was what worked for me. So I know Naira card does not really work with Microsoft 365. They will tell you that it has to be a dollar card. So you have to get a dollar card to purchase licenses. So you can add a payment method here. Normally, because this is a free trial license that was purchased for me, I don't have any payment method. But usually you must have a payment method because that is where you will be debited from. Okay, so that's that about billing. Then we have support. Definitely, we know that as administrators, you don't know it all. As administrators, you might know it all, but Microsoft 365 might have back-end issues that is stemming from the product team, those that designed this functionality. And we always know that there is no machine, there is no solution that is 100% efficient. It might deliver 100% results, but it will never be 100% efficient. In that, this is technology and something can go wrong at any point in time. Something can go wrong. From the product team now, something can go wrong. So you can always raise a support ticket with Microsoft. Your organization wants to do A, B, C, and D. And then you've checked and then there is no functionality to meet that need. You can reach out to Microsoft to see, hey, my organization wants to do this and that. How do I go about it? I've checked this, I've done that, yet there is no headway. Then Microsoft can tell you if, oh, that has been deprovisioned, or there is an upgrade on that. So you need to wait it out, wait for some time, and we'll have this result. Or it's a bug. There is something wrong from the back end, which is a known issue. And so we're going to escalate this to our product team, the guys that design this interface, and then they will give us a feedback on what next to do, or they'll correct the anomaly from their end. So all of these things can be done within our help and support interface, okay? And you can also use this to give Microsoft a feedback on one or two services. If you're disappointed with a particular service and you feel that they should do better, you can give them a feedback from this particular help and support. If you don't want to go through this route, at the bottom right corner here, you will see the help and support option. So this is where you give, this is where you create your tickets. Okay, it's called tickets. So this is where you create your tickets with Microsoft 365 directly. And then someone like a support agent will reach out to you and help you to resolve that particular issue. And then this second feedback is where you want to give a feedback directly to Microsoft product team. Okay, this is where you give your feedback, the second one. Okay, and that's that about the help and support. Then the next is settings. You can come down here to do different things under settings. So we have our domains. If you want to add your domain, so what happens when you sign up for Microsoft 365 newly? You're being given an onmicrosoft.com domain. Okay, so any user you create is going to be having the onmicrosoft.com. It's similar to you want to purchase, maybe you go to WordPress and you want to purchase a website, you want to buy a domain, and then WordPress will give you their own .wordpress.com or at wordpress.com. It's when you now purchase the domain that you can now use at yourdomain.com. So pending when you get at yourdomain.com, Microsoft will give you the privilege to utilize onmicrosoft.com pending when you get yourdomain.com. So when you get yourdomain.com, you can always come down to the domains page and then verify it. Okay, you can come down to the domains page and verify it. So you just come down here and verify your domain. Shikina, that's all. Come here. How do you verify your domain? Now you have the on Microsoft domain here. Okay, that is the base domain that Microsoft gives to you when you sign up newly for Office 365. Then you have your other domains here. Sorry, I have possible service issues. I think the domain I got for this one is no longer functioning, but I'm still holding on to them. I'm not letting them go. Then this one I paid a particular amount for this, but I did not renew it. And this one, the same thing. I didn't renew it. So nonetheless, that's by the way. So when you come here, you add your domain. You have a new domain. You come here, you add the domain, give it any name.com. Then you go to use this domain. You know, it takes you to a particular place where you need to add some certain information to verify your domain. First things first, it takes you to your domain site, your hosts, your domain hosts, okay? You go there and then enter some information that Microsoft will give to you, like your different records, DNS records. It's called DNS records, okay? Domain name system records. So it gives you those information, like your TXT record, your MX record, your A records, your CNAME records, all of these information just to verify Microsoft 365. Okay, one of them helps for email flow, sending and receiving emails. The other one helps you for protecting your email flow. Okay, if you're sending emails or you're receiving emails, these emails will go through Office 365 protection and then prevent spam, spoof, malware, okay, and all that. And the other one helps for auto discover. So we're going to look into all of this when we get into the Exchange Online training, okay. So that's that about our domain. So here we have search and intelligence. Let me reduce this so that we can see more. So this shows you that I've not even opened this one. So we have our search and intelligence page here in Microsoft 365. So where we can check out user analytics, check out the different analysis on this particular Microsoft 365. You know, we can come down to insights, can search for insights. We can check for different user analytics, can check for query analytics, can check answers, data sources, customizations, configurations, okay? We're going to look into this particular search and intelligence on a later day, all right? This is a new functionality in Microsoft 365. So we're going to be looking into this one on a later day, okay? So that we can really, really better understand what search and intelligence is all about. Why do we need it in Office 365? And how does it help our workflow, okay? So we have our organization settings. So this is where we carry out different configurations and settings for the different centers, the different admin centers in Office 365. So from your account linking, adoption score, Azure speech services, bookings, brand center, everything, calendar, Copilot for sales, Cortana, Dynamic CRM, mail, 365 groups. So you can always do the different configurations, SharePoint, self-service trials and purchases, Sway, Whiteboard, Viva Learning. You can do anything you want to do. Customize anything you want to customize, okay? Configure anything you want to configure. To meet, this is only done to meet individual organization need. It's not done on a holistic scale. So if I make a configuration here in my own tenants, this my organization is bookings organization. It will not affect Wema Bank if Wema Bank is using Microsoft 365. So this is only peculiar to an organization. We want customizations, we want to change some settings in bookings, we want to change some things in Copilot, we want to change some things in calendar. So this is peculiar to just my own organization, what I want users to have access to, what I don't want users to have access to. Like I informed us, this is an administrative overview. So it shows you what administrators can do in an organization, okay? You have the power to stop users from using some particular services. You have the power to enable them to use some particular services, okay, depending on what your job role is. So that's what the organization settings helps us to achieve, okay? So here we have integrated apps. Integrated apps is the applications that are being integrated with Microsoft 365. So currently, one of the companies that we are managing, I helped them to integrate a CRM tool with Office 365. And that's because the HR team were looking out for a tool that they can use to manage their personnel, leave allowance, holiday trips, salary disbursement, sick leave, and all of these things, you know, even down to their KPIs and KPAs. So I helped them to integrate a particular HR tool with Microsoft 365, you know, because we had two options. It's either we utilize Power Automate. So we can see that there is beauty in Power Automate. Either we utilize Power Automate, we create from the scratch. We can use Power Automate to create a CRM tool, you know, that we can use to handle that particular resource. You know, so if you're a HR personnel here and maybe you're already paying, maybe you're using Microsoft 365 and you are paying a third party like Cloudly and all that, paying them money for you know, CRM tools. Know that you don't need to pay that extra. If your if you have someone that is good with Power Automate, they can help you design that particular interface. So all you need to have is just the license that covers Power Automate, and you're good to go. You don't need too much expenses for these tools. Okay, but nonetheless, that's the Power Automate though. But nonetheless, but they did not want Power Automate because they had to pay. You know, it costs some money. And if you're very good at Power Automate, you would agree with me that it's not a day, it's not a job for one day, you know. And you know, you still keep going back to them to make some changes to the whole configuration and all. So we're able to integrate that particular application with them, and they've been using it without hitches, you know. And so there are some free to air. I call them free to air personally. It's not an agreed terminology within Microsoft. It's just my own terminology. I call them free to air. Free to air tools that are free of charge, and then you can seamlessly integrate them with Microsoft 365. So whatever it is, you will see the different services that you can use them with. Like for instance, this one page. Oh, I didn't do that. So for instance, this one page that we have here, you can see that it's integrated with our Outlook, with our Teams, with Copilot, and what have you. Breakthrough app, you can integrate with Teams, Outlook, Copilot, Matter, Mural, the same thing. So these are whatever you're looking for that you want to have done, you know, within Microsoft. Code 2 signatures, you know, all this basically for Outlook. You want to organize signatures, harmonize signatures within your organization, the same format, the same fonts, everything, you know, whatever it is, just there are so many integrated apps or so many applications that are integratable with Microsoft 365. So you can just come here and check for it and then try to integrate. You can come down to view more apps. You will see a list of other applications that you can always integrate with Microsoft 365. You will see a list of all of them. That's still loading. So let's just take a quick peek into it. Why is it taking so much time? All right, here we go. Here we go. These are our different categories for the different applications that we want to integrate with Office 365. Now, I want us to know this thing, so that we don't think that it is all applications that can be integrated with Office 365. There are some applications that you cannot integrate with Office 365, okay? Usually, any application that wants to integrate or seamlessly integrate with Office 365, they have to make the configurations on their applications from their own end to ensure that it is seamless to integrate with Office 365. Office 365 has a recommendation. There is an option called Enterprise Applications in Azure. So there are recommendations that these organizations must know or must have before they create applications that will be integratable with Office 365. Okay, so when they have that done, then they can integrate their applications with Office 365. So for instance, you don't want to use Microsoft Bookings or you don't want to use Microsoft Calendar. You want to have a third-party booking because maybe you feel like there is a particular thing it does for you that Microsoft Bookings does not do. You can always look out for that particular application and then try to integrate it with Microsoft 365. As long as it is free, you can always try to integrate it with Microsoft 365. And as long as they meet Microsoft's requirements for integration, you can always integrate them with Office 365. So this is the pane where you come to. These are the different categories: machine learning, analytics, collaboration, commerce, compliance and legal, customer service, whatever it is that you want to integrate, you come here and integrate. Because I've had someone sometime ask me that they want to use a particular application. No, they want Microsoft to help them do. I think for those of us who are M365 administrators and consultants, you will agree with me that it is not the usual technical support. This one is much more. You have to know everything in Office 365. At least 90%. You must have that knowledge in 90% of Microsoft 365. They want a particular functionality, blah, 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 blah. When I checked around, I saw that this thing is not feasible. It is not feasible. Microsoft does not have that particular functionality, but they can integrate apps with it, right? So you need to really, really understand what Microsoft brings to the table. Microsoft does not do everything. It does not do everything, so that we don't think that Microsoft can do everything for us, so we don't need other applications. Sometimes you might have a need for third-party applications. Yes, Microsoft gives leverage for third-party applications. If you feel that their own is not giving you what you want, or their own does not offer that service, or you need to have a license for that specific service, you can integrate an application. That's how it is, okay? You can integrate an application. So that's what integrated apps help you to handle. Directory synchronization errors. We're not going to look into this one because we don't have any business. We are not doing hybrid training, but for instance, you have a hybrid environment. Hybrid environment is you have a physical server. Sorry, I'm hearing someone's voice. Do you want to ask a question? Please help me mute your mic. Yeah, thank you. For instance, you have a physical server and storage, and then you have Microsoft 365 in the cloud, and you want to establish a communication between your physical server or your on-prem, let me use your on-premise environment, and then your cloud environment. So hybrid or hybridization is just a communication between your server environment and your cloud environment. So if you have, sometimes there is what we call synchronization, directory synchronization. It's just more like making sure that the objects that you have in your on-premise environment reflect or are synchronized to your cloud environment. That's what synchronization is. Sometimes in the course of synchronization, you would discover that there are errors. Usually it's supposed to take 10 minutes, right, for synchronization to happen. And if after that 10 minutes, you see that this particular change that you made on the on-prem environment is not yet reflecting on your cloud environment, then it means that there is a problem somewhere. So you can come down to your directory sync errors to check if there is any error that will show up on this page. That's what directory synchronization errors helps us to. It gives you the error, you can research on the error and try to see where it is pointing to and have it resolved. Okay, so that's what directory synchronization helps us to achieve. Then partner relationship. So I'm just picking out the ones I feel are much more important to this training. Okay, partner relationship. So this partner relationship is more about creating or having organizational relationships, like a certain communication between one or two or other organizations. So if I want to be able to relate with Ugo Kings wants to relate with Wema Bank, for instance, or Bab's organization, for instance, I would need to have a certain relationship with his organization, whereby I can see if, for instance, I want to have a meeting with Babs, I can see if he's busy at this time or if he is free at this time, and then I would know how to go about establishing that particular meeting with Babs at certain time intervals. Okay, so it helps me to know to work better with partner organizations. It helps me work better with partner organizations. So you can decide tomorrow that you want to be a partner that will help to sell. Please, I don't like the feedback I'm getting. It's distorting. Please help us mute your mics. Please, if you're not asking a question, please help us mute your mics. Okay, sorry, just give me a minute. I think maybe I should just go and mute it myself. Okay, all right, please, let's help to mute mic, okay, so that we don't come back. Please help me to mute your mics, okay? All right. So And then if you want to also be if you're not also want to be, if you're a partner, and then you help sell licenses, you help manage organizations' resources. So this is where you will come and see the different partnership agreements, the different partnership issues. Maybe there's an error, because before you become a partner with an organization, I think there is, I can't remember all of those steps now, but I think you have to send a notification or something to the partner center, and then they have to accept, the organization has to accept before you see all those things show up here and all of that and all of that. But now you show me that I don't have a partner. If I have a partner, I will see the different organizations I'm partnering on this page. So I will see the different organizations show up on this page. I can always sign into the different organizations that I'm partnering with on this page. Click on them, you have your credentials, you sign in, and then you manage their resources. So sometimes what partners do is, when they sign into your organization, they help you with licenses renewal, they help you with policies and rules creations, they help you manage users access, and every other thing that an administrator will help you do. So you don't have any business with all of that. All you just need to do is to plug and play. Come in the morning, sign in and use. Come in the morning, sign in and use. Your administrator, who is a partner to your organization, is already helping you with all of those things. So that's what partnership helps us to achieve. Okay, that one, health. Yeah, this health is also important. Service health. Like I said earlier when I was talking about raising a support ticket, if you have issues within Microsoft 365, I sent an email, it's not delivering. I used to have permission to this particular site, and I can do A, B, C, and D, and right now I can't do them anymore. What's happening? I still have the permission. You can always come down here to check before you raise tickets or do any other thing. Come down here to check what are the different issues currently going on in Microsoft 365. What is currently happening in Microsoft 365 that I need to know of? Now you can see some here. You can see some here already as advisories. They are affecting Defender, Microsoft Teams, Exchange Online, Teams, SharePoint, and all of that. So you can just see, some users may encounter Microsoft Defender for Cloud App raw data delays for specific event. Okay, so if you're having this issue, you can quickly come here and check what's happening. Okay, when you see this, you can now have an idea that, there's something going on. This is not a me problem. It is a Microsoft problem. So you can just come here, check what the issue is, check up the scope of impact, check the root cause, and then check the dates it started. You can see its service degradation. So it has impacted the services in Microsoft. So when you come down, you will check the next available dates, updates, what Microsoft is currently doing, when next they're going to deploy a fix for it, and all that. So these are all the things that you can do with the service request. The service health. These are all the things you can do within the service health in Microsoft 365. So these are all the problems. This service health now is they're like problems, actionable problems that come directly from Microsoft 365 themselves, the product team themselves. Maybe like bug fixes, incidents with a particular upgrade with, let's say, an application, for instance. So you can see all of them here, and then Microsoft will give you more details as to what they are doing and when they will have it resolved. Okay. So that's that. So now we're going straight to the admin centers. We have the different admin centers here in Microsoft 365 that have the full functionality of what we want to do. Admin centers like the security admin center, those of us that want to delve into cyber security, information security, ethical hacking, just name it. You can always take advantage of the Microsoft Security Admin Center. Okay, Microsoft Security Admin Center is just to ensure that your resources are secured from brute force attackers, from data thefts, from anything whatsoever, be it from your users or from external forces. So security will help you ensure that Microsoft remains robust and resolute to ensure that there is no penetration whatsoever of your resources. There is no hacking into your organization to steal data or to maliciously damage resources within your organization. Okay, we have the Microsoft Purview, which is the compliance center. So this one is just to ensure that all that you're doing is compliant with industry standards, okay, global accepted standard. And then you're also doing best practices with the usage and utilization of Microsoft 365 services. That's what compliance or Purview aims to achieve. So what I would do is we'll just go to the admin centers one by one and then see what is in there and see if it is of interest to us, okay? Then we have the Microsoft Intune. This is more like a mobile device management solution. You know, it helps you to manage applications in your mobile devices. It helps you to deploy applications to your mobile devices. And you know, when Microsoft Intune or mobile device management started becoming an in thing, that was during the COVID year, right? 2020. So you see that most people were working from home, and then Microsoft saw the need, you know, to allow people to use their mobile devices to respond to emails, to join meetings, download applications that you can use for your organizations. But one thing was discovered in this thing too, that it raised security risk in that you could install some applications that might maliciously download a file, a malware into your phone. And then this might also have access to your organization's application to try to breach data and then steal resources. So Microsoft ensured that there are things put in place that even when you unknowingly install these applications that are going to be very, very detrimental to the organization's applications or Microsoft applications, it will not impact those applications whatsoever. So there are counter threats that will be deployed that will help ensure that these malicious wares that have been installed on your mobile devices are not detrimental to applications, organizations' applications, or Microsoft's applications. That's what Intune helps us. And it also helps us to create policies. We can also create policies, some certain policies using the Microsoft Intune also. Identity is more speaking to us about Azure. Okay, that's Azure Active Directory. This is where users are managed. This is where our users are managed. This is where security is managed. This is where protection and authentication is managed. This is where everything within Microsoft 365 functionality is managed. So what we are seeing now is resident somewhere. This admin center that we are seeing now, this Microsoft 365 admin center we are seeing now is resident somewhere. And it is resident in Azure Active Directory. So Azure Active Directory is the foundation where Microsoft 365 is built upon. You know, Azure Active Directory is an infrastructure as a service as well as platform as a service. But Microsoft 365 is only a software as a service. So it has no infrastructure, it has no platform. It is just a software as a service that is deployed over the internet. So it's just plug and play. Use it. You don't have access to server environment and all. You just plug and play. But Azure is quite different. Azure is quite robust. Okay, Azure is the cloud. So when you hear cloud, that's Azure. And that's where Microsoft 365 is resident upon. Okay, so the identity is just to manage user identity, admin identity, give role permissions to administrators, different permission levels to administrators, and they can manage A, B, C, and D, assign licenses to individuals. So any changes you make in Microsoft 365 will be reflected in Azure Active Directory. You can make that change from Azure Active Directory. But there are some changes that you will make on Azure Active Directory. You cannot counter change it in Microsoft 365. Changes like deploying group licensing. So if you deploy a group license on Azure Active Directory, for instance, you cannot change that on Microsoft 365. But if you assign a license to individuals on Microsoft 365, you can uncheck it. You can unassign it on Azure Active Directory. So Azure Active Directory is the base where every other thing springs forth from. Then we have Microsoft Exchange Online. So this is where I want to carry out migration. I want to migrate resources, users, calendars, contacts from third party to Microsoft 365. You can do that on the Exchange Online Admin Center. So migration is just basically moving resources from one center to another center. So you can either migrate into or migrate out from. When you migrate into, it means you're migrating to Office 365. When you migrate out from, it means you're migrating from Office 365 to any other party. SharePoint is a collaborative tool that helps us to manage documents, share files, and collaborate between teams. That's what SharePoint helps us to do. Okay, so if you have documents, file sharing, you want to share files, or you want to organize users, you know, you can create SharePoint sites, manage these sites, add users as members to this site, share information. You want them to collaborate on a particular thing, a project or something, share information, you know, to these users, and they have access to these things in a real-time scenario. They can make modulations based on the permissions you give to them. So SharePoint deals more with permissions, edit permission, full control, view only. So if you give a user view only permission, it means that anything that you're doing within a document perspective, he or she can only view it, but cannot do any other thing beyond viewing it. And there is also guest access too. Then if you give the user edit permission, it means that they can edit and make changes. And if you give them full control, it means that they have full control over that particular resource. So let us prepare. Well, we're going to be handling SharePoint and OneDrive next weekend. So that's what we are going to be starting with, SharePoint and OneDrive from next week, Saturday. Okay. So if you want to upskill, you want to learn SharePoint. In fact, I want to even encourage every one of us to ensure that we take SharePoint seriously, because every organization, whether they are using Microsoft 365 or not, they have a way of utilizing SharePoint for their document sharing, document handling, and site creation, site management, and all these. They have a way of utilizing SharePoint. It helps aid productivity. It makes work faster and easier, you know. So let's make sure that we are there in that training. Microsoft Teams is a collaborative tool. We know that we use that one for communications, phone calls. We use that one for different things, file sharing also, creating meetings, team meetings, and all of these, setting calendar events and different things. So that's what Microsoft Teams helps us to achieve. And every resources of Microsoft Teams is automatically saved in SharePoint. So this is how Microsoft works. Microsoft is a collaborative and integrated solution, in that all Microsoft 365 services are fully integrated one to another. All of them are fully integrated one to another. Don't worry, today is just for too much talks. Before next week Saturday for SharePoint, I would create that particular account so that when we sign in ourselves, we can come here, click on the different admin centers and view it ourselves. See it for yourself, see the different functionalities that are in there. Try to create a user, add a user, try to create a SharePoint site, you know, try to create a Microsoft Teams team or channel. See how it is being done, you know. That will help us better understand how all of these things work. Okay. And that's what Teams is all about. Power Platform, you know, I made mention of Power Platform. So it's one of the things that I want us to learn much later. So I'll have a colleague of mine coming as time goes on to give us an overview of Power Platform. And if those of us that are interested in Power Platform, we will now have a training after this Microsoft 365 training on the Power Platform, and it will be very in-depth. Any other training that will be coming up after this Microsoft 365 training will be so in-depth, because we want to ensure that people don't just know what Microsoft 365 is. People now know a particular core functionality within Microsoft. Let's say, for instance, you now learn SharePoint in depth. You can now qualify to become a SharePoint administrator. You can manage SharePoint resources. You don't need to know everything that there is within Microsoft 365. If you know it, good for you, but you don't necessarily need to know all of them. You need to just pick up a few of them and become the best of the best in the few of them that you've picked up. Very, very important, because you might say you want to learn everything now and you might end up just having surface knowledge on everything, which is not enough. But if you have in-depth knowledge on a few of them, it is more than enough. Okay, so Power Platform covers Power BI, which is for data analysis and presentation. It covers Power Automate, which we use to automate processes and systems. And then we have Power Applications. And then that is all there is for the admin center. Let me go to this expanded view to see if we have more. Okay, we have more here. We have the Microsoft Entra, we have the Microsoft Purview, Defender for Identity, we have the Intune, 365 applications, we have Search and Intelligence, we have Security, SharePoint, Teams, and Viva Engage. So these are the different admin centers or the different services or solutions that Microsoft provide because of the type of license I have, right? So it means that this is the type of organization I'm managing, or this is the type of organization I currently am, right? So in this training, our core focus is on Exchange, it's on SharePoint, it's on Teams and OneDrive. Okay, those are our core focus: Exchange, SharePoint, Teams, and OneDrive. Nonetheless, we are going to also be looking into security, an aspect of security, an overview of security. We are going to be looking into the Power Platform, Power Automate, and then we're also going to be seeing Azure Active Directory, which is the Microsoft Entra. Okay, Azure Active Directory, just to give us an idea of what this is about and what it does, how it functions, the different configurations that you can create within them. And then if there is an interest to learn them in depth, then that can be arranged for us. And then we now give out certifications after exams and all of that. So it is your need that we are looking out for. It is whatever you want. This is like point and kill. Whatever you want to learn, whatever it is that you want to become the best at in all of these Microsoft 365 functionalities, we will listen to you, get your feedback, and then we'll arrange that for you. Okay, we'll arrange that for you. Okay. So let me look at the different admin centers I will be looking at. I want to finish up by 11:15. So please, if you have questions, you can ask. Or sorry, I'm not even looking at our Teams chats. I'm carried away. So please, if you have questions, you can ask at any point. If I'm too fast, please draw me back.
Hello, sorry, are we to type the question or we are to ask verbally?
You can ask verbally, you can type. Anyone that's...
Okay, sorry, before you go far, could you please differentiate between partner relationships and guest users?
Oh, okay, let me go back to this page. Let me be showing us. Oh, okay. Let me start from here, guest users. All right. Thank you very much for the question. So this is the guest users. Now, who is a guest to start with? A guest is someone who does not have resources within your tenant, but you want the person to come into your tenant and then have access to one or two resources within your tenant. So tenant is your organization, okay? So let's say, for instance, now, let me see, sorry. Let me come here. Sorry, who asked the question? That's Sheyi, right? Oh, sorry, Opeyemi, yeah. So I want to use your name. That's why I had to come back. So let's say, for instance, now, this is my home. My home is Ugo Kings. This is my home. I have some family members here and some friends within this home that are naturally Ugo Kings. And then Opeyemi is Opeyemi, and he wants to be able to collaborate with me in Ugo Kings. He wants to be able to speak to me in Ugo Kings, or he wants to be able to have access to where my wardrobe is or where my cabinet is in my home, right? And I look at it like, Opeyemi is not a full member of my home. He's not a full, you know, I don't want Opeyemi to see my room. I don't want him to see my toilet. I don't want him to see my kitchen. So what I will do is I will lock my room, lock my toilet, lock my kitchen. And then maybe I'll only give Opeyemi access to my parlor so that he can just come to my cabinet or come to my wardrobe and then do what he needs to do. And I might even decide to lock some part of my parlor too. Just make sure that I show him only where the cabinet is so that he can go there, do what we need to do, and then when he's done, he can leave. He can simply leave without even seeing my room and other things. So the idea of guest users is you want the guests to have access to maybe a meeting within your organization, but you don't want them to go as far as going to check your groups, going to check your other resources like your security portal, going to check how many users are in your organization, going to see other things like your email. They want to go and check. No. You don't want them to have that access. So what you would do is just to add them to your organization as a guest user. So when you're adding them as a guest user, you are sending them an invitation. You're inviting them, hey, I'm inviting you to come into my organization as a guest. I'm welcoming you to my organization as a guest, but I'm not necessarily going to be showing you other parts of my organization. I'm only going to be showing you where I want you to see or where I want you to stay. That is what guest usage is all about. Okay, how did I get here? sorry guys. All right, so that is what guest usage is all about. Okay, now let's go to the relationship, the partner relationship. Yes, so partner relationship is very much different from guest usage or being a guest user, in that partner relationship or having a partner is someone that collaborates with your organization to help you manage all the functionalities that your license have access to. That is what partner relationship helps you to do. So a partner or an administrator in this context is also someone that is external, similar to guest user. But the difference is that this external party is the one managing your resources for you. So his or her duty is to ensure that things like license renewal, things like purchasing bulk licenses, depending on the scalability of your organization, things like adding users to groups, creating groups, things that an IT personnel within your organization should do is what that particular individual is helping you to do, helping you to address within your organization. Renewing your licenses, all those things that on a norm, you need an IT guy to tell you that, the license will soon be expired, though, we need to renew. No, that one will help you to make sure that there are no loopholes. Even within your security framework, there are no loopholes, okay? So you don't need to bother yourself about license renewal, license expiration, adding users, and all of these things. You need to focus on other core business functionality while your administrator as a partner will help you handle this other aspect of the organization. So he is responsible for interfacing with Microsoft 365 support agents to ensure that if there are the discrepancies within your organization, it is addressed. It doesn't necessarily need to come to you. It is his responsibility to address any discrepancy or anomaly within your organization by working closely with support engineers, Microsoft product team to ensure that your organization is up and running. There are no downtime. You are having, seamless workflow. That's what the partner relationship aims to address. I don't know if that clarifies this.
Yeah, that's right. Is it okay to refer to the partner relationships as a third party?
Yes. You can you can refer to it as a third party, definitely, yes.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Sorry, I have to go back to the teams. I think I saw one hand up when this question was asked. So let's Chris. Okay. Chris, I see your hand up.
Yes,
yeah.
It's not really a question, but okay. I want to request. I know this meeting is being recorded. Is there a possible way we can get? Because I keep going off due to internet connection and coming in. I was able to listen to 80% of the lecture, but I want to really grasp it because I like I mentioned earlier, I'm a beginner, so yeah. I don't know if there's a way that could help me with it.
Oh, okay. So you need like a recording, or you need like a less technical training for beginners. Like which one are you asking for? Hello, Chris.
No,
did you hear me?
I need the recording.
Okay, the recording.
I need the recording.
Yes, definitely. The recording will be made available to everybody.
Okay, that's
yes,
fine.
It will be made, that's why it's being recorded. So it will be made available to everybody. Yes.
That's fine. Thank you.
All right. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right. So do we have any other question, or do we continue? All right, so in case you have a question, because I'm using just one screen for all this, please, you can just unmute your mic and just let me know that you have a question, okay? I have to go back to the admin center. Okay, so at any point where you have a question, please just do let me know. So let's just breeze into these admin centers one by one to see what it entails, what they do there, what will interest us, why we need to learn what we need to learn if need be, and all that, right? So just opening them out one after the other so that we can see our platform. All right, so that we can just see. Okay, this is the Exchange Admin Center. All right, this is the Exchange Admin Center, and this is where we manage everything that has to do with mailboxes, user mailboxes, shared mailboxes, room mailboxes, equipment mailboxes, any other kind of mailboxes, where we also look into groups, right? Now, all these things I'm mentioning, just know that they are not difficult to grasp. From their names, you will even get to understand what they do, what they are all about. Okay. So in the admin center of Exchange, we see the different functionalities on the left here, right? The different functionalities on the left. So from the home page, this is the home page, similar to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center homepage. You can also add more cards here, remove cards, turn this to dark mode. If you want to, let's use dark mode. I don't know what that one is light. All right, so, beautiful. So we come down to recipient and mailbox. So what we do under recipient has different sub options. Under recipients, we have mailboxes, groups, resources, contacts. Okay. So these mailboxes, groups, and all, they are the different users in Microsoft 365 that have been assigned a license. So this is how the license works. Let's say, for instance, we are assigning a license, a business basic license to a user. That business basic license covers exchange functionality, whereby they can send and receive emails. They can be added to different groups. They can carry out migrations. They can do different things, within the exchange framework, right? It also covers SharePoint, covers OneDrive, covers Microsoft Teams, covers analytics, covers Viva Insight, covers security and compliance, and all of these other functionalities, depending on the type of license that is being assigned to the users. Okay. So those users that we see that have been created in Office 365 Admin Center, now because of the license assigned to them, they have a mailbox created for them. What is a mailbox? A mailbox is just your basically your credentials that have the capacity to send and receive emails. So I am kingsley@ugokings.tk. It means that I have a mailbox. That's why I'm able to come here. I can send an email from kingsley@ugokings.tk, and I can receive an email to kingsley@ugokings.tk. And that is not all there is in Exchange. I can create calendars. I can create events, schedule meetings within Exchange Online on my Outlook. All right. I can even create room mailboxes that will help me organize meetings with maybe departments or everyone within my organization rather. I can have contacts saved and shared within my Exchange framework. Okay, that's what that license helps me to achieve within recipient section of Exchange Online. So if I go to mailboxes, I will see all my users that have user mailboxes. They all have licenses. That's why they have a mailbox. And in Exchange Online, we know that depending on the license, you are either provided with a 50 gigabyte mailbox size or a 100 gigabyte mailbox size that comes with a 50 gigabyte archive storage or a 100 gigabyte archive storage. Okay, depending on the license that you are assigned. So these are my different mailboxes. So on this pane, you cannot add a user mailbox here. The only thing you can create here is a shared mailbox. You cannot create a user mailbox on this manage mailbox pane. You can only create a user in the admin center and then assign a license that has the Exchange Online Plan 1 or Plan 2 for that user to have a mailbox created and show up here. Like I said earlier, a shared mailbox does not have a license or does not require a license. However, you can choose to assign a license to a shared mailbox nonetheless. That's if you want to use it to sign in. You want to add it, map it to your Outlook, and sign in to the particular mailbox. But usually, shared mailboxes are just mailboxes that users are given permissions to for collaboration and information sharing. That's what shared mailboxes help us to achieve. Mail flow, we have the mail flow setting. You can refresh, you can export. So we can export all these mailboxes with all this information. Administrators, depending on the information you're looking for, what you need that export to help you achieve, you can export. Now, mail flow settings. This is, I don't know why these other ones. Okay, I think in my organization, I unchecked mail forwarding and message delivery restriction. So I'm not able to select it. So for message size restriction, by default, Exchange Online only allows for 10,000 emails per day for organizations. So you're only allowed to send 10,000 emails per day, right? And so if you want to restrict the size of emails that are going to be sent from your organization, you can always come down to this message size restrictions and then restrict the message. If you want to create or enable email forwarding, you can always do that. I don't know why mine is graded out, but I'll check that later. You can always do email forwarding.
I want to ask a question. Can I?
Oh, sure, you can. That's
okay.
Okay, yes, Abdullah. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so this 10,000 emails, is it per mailbox or for the entire organization?
You said the 10,000 emails?
Yes. Is it for the entire organization or it's for, like, it's per mailbox? Is it like, for example, this mailbox, Kingsley, is it that the mailbox can only send and receive 10,000 emails per day, or it's for the entire, that's Ugo King's organization, that 10,000 mailbox restriction applies to?
Oh, okay, it works for the mailbox itself.
Okay.
Yes, it's not for the entire organization.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's for yeah, you're welcome. It's for the mailbox. It's for one particular mailbox in the organization. And okay, that's where we see spam issues coming out when a particular user have sent above that particular limit, above that particular exchange limit. Then you now see the emails being flagged as spam, or Microsoft takes a particular action to restrict that particular user from sending emails. So, all right, thank you for your question, Abdullah. Sorry, I have one Abdullah. That is my colleague. I usually call him Abudu. So thank you for your question, Abdullah. All right, so we have the email forwarding and we have the is anybody asking a question? Oh, okay. All right. So and then we have the message delivery restriction. Let me minimize this. Okay. So if you want to go to the add shared mailbox, you can always click here to add a shared mailbox, give it a name. It's going to definitely be at the domain you select. You know, that's all you create. Then we go to groups. Under your groups, we have different types of groups in Microsoft 365. Okay, I will not go in depth into this. We have a special training for Exchange. So we're going to look into that, create groups, send messages to these groups. We're going to make it real time, like a real time training. But just to give us an overview of the different types of group we have in Microsoft 365. We have the Microsoft 365 group. We have the distribution list. We have the dynamic distribution list. And we have the mail-enabled security group. These are the 4 types of groups that we have in Office 365. Microsoft 365 group has a mailbox. Okay, the difference between, they are both the same, they are both very similar, Microsoft 365 group and the distribution list. The difference is that the distribution list does not have a mailbox. Microsoft 365 group has a mailbox. So it means that you can archive emails from the Microsoft 365 group. So what these groups aim to achieve, all of them, is to help us. Sorry, please, let's mute our mics. What these groups helps us to achieve is to help collaboration between teams and organizations. That's what all of these groups help us to achieve. I want to send an email to Abdullah, for instance. Instead of sending an email to Abdullah, I want to send an email to, sorry, let me use our names here. Let me not use fictional names. I want to send an email to Jonathan. I want to send an email to Cynthia. I want to send an email to Opeyemi, Kenechuku, Taufik, Adeshino, Chris. Instead of selecting you guys one by one in the recipient section, I can just put you guys in a group. Maybe if you guys are in a department, for instance, I can just put you guys in a group and send that email to that group, and you all will receive the email. So it makes work efficient. and reduce the time that you use to send emails to different members of a particular group. So groups majorly are used categorically. They're categorical. They are used to differentiate different teams, different departments, helps to organize individuals into a particular group, okay, to harmonize work, to make sure that whatever you're doing is done uniformly. I don't need to be sending emails one after the other. I can send it to HR group departments, and everybody within that group will be able to receive it. That's what groups helps us to achieve. Be it Microsoft 365 group, distribution group, dynamic distribution group, and mail-enabled security group. Okay? So when we go our training, we're going to go more into all of these groups and see the different functionalities, how they function. We are going to create, we're going to add a group, we're going to create and then see how it works. Okay. Right. So for resources, we have different resources within Office 365. Okay, we have the room resource and the equipment resource. Okay. Room, that more like room mailbox and equipment mailbox. So these mailboxes are majorly used within Outlook, within Microsoft 365 Outlook. If you want to create events or you want to schedule events, okay, that is where we use these mailboxes, the resources, the room mailboxes and equipment mailboxes more in. Okay, so majorly for the room mailboxes, I think that one is much more utilized than the equipment mailboxes. So it helps to organize meetings. You want to share meeting invites to individuals for a particular meeting. You select a room in that particular meeting that can help harmonize these particular meeting deliveries. Message meeting, how do I put it now? Meeting message deliveries as meetings. So it helps us to harmonize your meeting invites based on a particular meeting room criteria. So all these rooms that we have are more like they are more like locations within that particular event templates. They are more like locations. Let's say, for instance, in this whole building, we have service floor, we have floor 1, we have floor 2, we have car park, we have all of these different places are rooms. They are tagged as rooms within the organization. So if you're working, for instance, in the service floor and want to create a meeting for people and people that are working in the service floor, we most likely would utilize a room. When we go into the training proper, we're going to go to Outlook and then we're going to be seeing how room mailboxes and equipment, we're going to be creating one here, and then we'll see how these things work. We see what importance that they have to solve problems in Exchange Online. Okay. Then we have contacts. Here you can create your contacts, and if you create contacts here, they show up automatically in Outlook. You can see them show up in contacts in Outlook. So everything is being synchronized. Outlook is being synchronized to Microsoft 365, to Exchange Online, and if you have an AD environment, there's also a synchronization that also happens there together with your Azure Active Directory. So all of these aspects of Microsoft are in synchrony. They synchronize with one another. Okay, all of them synchronize with one another. So what next? We have mail flow. Mail flow is just basically the movement of emails. Just see it as the movement of emails. How emails flow from one particular point to another point, from sender to recipient, from recipient to sender. That is just what mail flow is about. And that is like the heartbeat of Exchange Online. Mail flow is the heartbeat of Exchange Online. So from here, we have message trace. Message trace just talks about tracing emails. I sent an email to this person. The person said he did not receive it. What happened to the email? Or someone sent an email to me. I've not yet received it. What happened to the email? What action was taken on that email? Where did that email go to? You can always use a message trace to trace where that particular email is. If that email got delivered or it did not get delivered, message trace will help you with all of that, okay? Then we have rules. So we can always create rules. These particular rules are organization-wide rules. Let's say, for instance, you want to reject emails from certain domains because you feel like those people are malicious. They're a malicious organization, and you don't want emails to come, or you don't trust them. So you have specifics. So you can always create a rule and then prevent emails from certain organizations. You can also create a rule to bypass email checks, our mail protection. You can create a rule to bypass Exchange Online protection. You don't want Exchange Online protection to scan through that email because you trust that email and you feel like your email security measure is too strong and rigid. You can always create a rule for that. You can also create a rule for encryption. You want to encrypt emails that you send out to people. Encryption is just basically having email in a pattern whereby people cannot have access to it, right? They cannot have access to the plain text except they enter an authentication or authorization mechanism to have access to it. So you want to prevent some persons from seeing the content of an email except on authorized delivery, except you're sure that this message is going to be delivered to the particular person that needs authorization to that email. But you don't want any other person that might see the email to know what is embedded in the email. You encrypt it, okay? So you can use the rule to do so many things. You can even use it to customize Office 365 messaging encryption. You can use it to apply disclaimers. You can use it to filter messages by size. You can use it to modify messages, restrict managers and their direct reports. You can use it to do so many things. Or you can just create a new rule and then give it whatever you want to give it as an administrator. You can create a new rule from here. You can even use this rule to create email signatures. So there are so many things that you can do with Office 365 rules, okay? Then here we have the remote domain. We have accepted domain. After you verified your domain, I don't want to go so in depth into this because it's already pushing me to do a lecture on it, but I just want to do like an overview on it. We have connectors, inbound connectors, outbound connectors. They are more like middlemen that helps in case you have, let's say you have a hybrid environment or you're a cloud environment, you're receiving emails from an on-premise environment, be it within, it's mostly outside the organization. On-premise is usually external. So when you're receiving these emails, connectors help you to ensure that these emails are picked up from here and then delivered to here. They're more like middlemen that connect these two email services together. That's what connectors helps us to address. And this is also one of the ways that people can also use to infiltrate your organization and prevent you from having access to your organization. This is one of the ways, but we'll get to that as we ride along, okay? So this is a new functionality within Microsoft 365, high volume email. So we're going to also look at this particular high volume email. It's more on SMTP framework, but we're going to be looking at this high volume email when we get into our next class, okay? We're going to be looking at it. Then we have alerts and alert policies. Alert, basically alert is just to alert you when some particular actions are being carried out. That's what alert is. Before we go into the nitty-gritty of alert, just know that alert is just to alert you on when some actions are being carried out. people are taking actions on particular emails, people are trying to send out sensitive information, people are trying to do something contrary to organization standard. That's where alert comes into. And you can also use alert policies to create policies that will inform you or keep you informed when certain actions are being carried out. That's where alert policies come into play. So you can see a few policies that have been created here. Reply all storm delay detected. So it gives you and it's a high priority. So it gives you an alert that someone is, these things are malicious. They're typical malicious things, malicious applications. Like when I mean applications, not the apps itself, but things that are being done. So they are typical malicious actions rather. So it will give you an alert of something like this going on within your organization. You can also decide to create a new alert policy, give it a name, and set the different configurations that you want to get alerted for. That's what alert policies helps you to achieve. Then we have roles, admin role, user role, Outlook web access policies. So we can always give people administrative roles, Exchange admin, application admin, different administrator, user role, user admin, all of that, depending on what you want them to do. I don't want this person to have access to the admin center. You should just have access to helping us organize users and all of that. Give them the user role. So it depends on what you want to give to them. Migration, the brain box of Exchange admin center. Mail flow is the heartbeat. Migration is the brain box. So this is where you carry out movements of emails you want to migrate into or you want to migrate out from. This is where it is being done. When you want to migrate, what you do first is to create migration batches. Migration batches are just basically like building the foundation, the framework all around, making sure that the bag of cement that you bought will be enough. This configuration, this land is okay. Is it a wet or a dry land? Okay, have we done this? Have we bought that? That is what migration batch help us to achieve. So after all of these things have been put in place, you can now carry out the migration. I don't know why I think I've been having these issues for a while now. I don't know why my migration page is not giving me options to create a migration batch, but nonetheless, this is where we carry out migrations to Office 365 and from Office 365. This is where we carry out migration. Organizations might meet you and say, we don't want to use Google anymore. We want to use Microsoft 365. You help them do a Google Workspace migration. They will tell you that we have been using Exchange Server for long, and we heard that Microsoft wants to deprecate Exchange Server. We want to start using Exchange Online. How do we help them do migration? So this is what migration is all about. Okay, just moving emails, calendars, contacts, and other resources from a third-party email service provider to Microsoft 365, or from Microsoft 365 to a third-party email service provider. So this is where you manage your mobile devices, creating mobile device policy, mobile device management, and all of that. Then the reports, we can have reports on mail flow or migration, general reports, analytics, user analytics. You can just use that to see for this month of May, or let me use the month of April, what has happened in mail flow? How many users have complained of emails not being received? How many, you just use that to get a generalized information on the different actions that happened within that month. Okay. Okay. So that's that. Let me not waste so much time here since we're not going in depth into this. But that's that with Exchange Online, the admin interface. All right. That's it about Exchange Online admin interface. So let's look at other ones. We have the Microsoft Defender. So those of us who are very good with Microsoft security, or those of us who are into cybersecurity currently, or you have extensive knowledge in Microsoft security and compliance, you will know fully well that this is Microsoft's own security, be it cybersecurity, be it information security, be it any kind of security that you want to attribute this to. This is Microsoft's own security platform. okay, where it helps manage every security need within Microsoft 365. And the beautiful thing about this is it also integrates very well with Azure Sentinel, okay, to ensure that it has or provides a robust security framework and platform for Microsoft 365. Not only your emails that are being secured, your data is being secured, your information is being secured, your infrastructure is being secured, your identity is being secured. Everything that makes up the whole Microsoft 365 that you have access to is being secured within Microsoft 365. And what does Microsoft 365 do in terms of security? It is both proactive and reactive. The security framework of Microsoft 365 is proactive and reactive. Proactive in the sense that it has some industry standards that have been configured to ensure that you're being secured, up-to-date standard. It is being upgraded and updated as time goes on to ensure that it meets security need for different organizations. Okay, and it is reactive in that if, for instance, there is a data breach, if, for instance, there is something that happens in the course of using Microsoft 365 products, there are mechanisms put in place that can help you quarantine some things, that can help you take action automatically on some things, and gives you a data and analytics on who tried to have access to your organization, what the person tried to do within your organization. Was the person successful in gaining access to your data, or was the person unsuccessful? So you see this particular information with your SIEM analytics. So SIEM and XDR, or the XDR rather, they help us to gain analytics or insights into all of these things. So you can see here, it's showing you connect Microsoft Sentinel and this to unify your security operations in one single portal. So you can connect them, your Sentinel and your XDR, and then you have a unified security platform, a robust security platform that can help you prevent malicious actors from gaining access to your security, to your Office 365 interface. Even identity management. Even identity management, where your credentials are very, very important. There are measures put in place with authentications and all that will ensure that your credentials cannot be maliciously used to gain access to organizations. And another thing is, what happens when a particular user have left an organization and then his credentials is still hanging on? There are security measures and policies that are being created to ensure that these particular credentials are not, they are being archived, and then no one can gain access to this credential. Because if you see most security breaches that have to do with credential loophole, it is through the back door that these malicious actors go through. And this back door is users that have left an organization, but their credentials are still being left hanging. There is no proper management to these old credentials. So it is easy for malicious actors to gain access to these credentials and then use it to siphon organizations' resources. All right. So in this particular page, Microsoft Defender, we have incident and alerts. We have to create alerts and view incidents that might go on within your organization. We have actions and submissions. For instance, you have emails that you suspect to be malicious. You can always take action on them, or then submit these emails to Microsoft 365 for Microsoft to tell you if those emails are legitimate emails or not. We have threat intelligence here. Threat intelligence gives you analytics and insight into the different actions that are being carried out by individuals. So you can use that to get proper intel or insights as to user management, what is currently happening, what is about happening, what has been done, and then you can now know the actions that you can carry out to prevent those particular things from happening again, or to properly secure your environment. That's where threat intelligence comes into play. And then we see other one, we see exposure management. Yeah, we see exposure management. So how exposed are you to malicious actors? How exposed is your organization to your critical infrastructure? How exposed is it to malicious actors, black hat players out there? We always see this attack surface, then we have the exposure insights. So we see where we get initiatives and metrics and recommendations and events under the exposure insight. So this just gives us insight as to how exposed are we to being attacked. It takes data from what has happened in the past, what is currently happening, and it gives an estimate or an analysis of what might happen in the future. So it gives you this raw analysis, this raw data, and then gives you recommendations that you can carry out to reduce that score, to reduce that particular score, to make it less severe, right? If it's very severe, it makes it less severe. I hope I'm not speaking too much technical jargons. I hope it's making sense. Just see it as something within a security framework to prevent hackers from gaining access to your organization. That's what this defender helps us to achieve. And then you see secure score. Secure score gives you different data. Like now, my current secure score in my tenant is 37.17, right? It gives you different recommendations to carry out. And the funny thing is, it is not all the recommendations that you must carry out, but it just gives you recommendations that, for instance, if you enable MFA for all your administrators, it will increase your score. If you enable MFA for all your users, it will increase your score. It's not like you must, yes, it's very important to enable MFA for everybody, but maybe due to the kind of organization that you have, you just choose not to enable MFA for all your users. You only want to enable for only your administrators. It still doesn't make any difference, but it makes you less secure, and it means that you did not carry out the recommendation that Microsoft was giving to you. All right. Then we have identities, we have service accounts, health issues, email and collaboration. So this one is talking about your data, your email policies that you create to prevent data breaches, email breaches, and all that. So you can create policies that have to be like against spam emails, against malicious emails, malware, against phishing emails, anti-phishing, against safe links and attachments, malicious links and attachments. So there are a lot of policies that you can create. You can even do an attack simulation, just to ensure that you properly train your workers on phishing emails, send out attack simulation emails to your user, and then see how many people end up clicking the link, how many people saw it and ignored it. Just get that data to know the strength, how your users are responding to attack threats. So all of these things are going to help you. Policies and rules, you can create policies and rules to help you protect your emails. So there are a lot of things. It's a robust environment, your Microsoft Defender. So there are a lot of things that are in here that we can look into. I think this is even very, very interesting and lucrative. So we most likely will do a Microsoft security training after all of this. Okay, I think this is something, because security now is very, very important. Most organizations are ensuring that they are in need of solutions, security solutions that will help them curtail the adverse challenges that they are currently facing with malicious actors. So we're going to be looking into this, having training on this, centered around SIEM and XDR. So this is what we're going to be centering our training on. When we go into our Microsoft security training, we're going to center it around SIEM and XDR. All right, so that's for our Microsoft Defender portal. Let's see what's next. Oh, okay. These are purview, previously called compliance. Okay, let me just go to the classic. I don't know why this is. All right, so these are Microsoft Purview Admin Center, formerly called Microsoft Compliance Admin Center. Now, for every organization that has a security solution, there are recommendations by bodies like governing bodies in terms of your security posture or solutions that help address your security need. It is very, very important. Sorry, I'm just trying to, I don't know. Let me just get started. That help address your security need. Okay, we're here now. Security need in your organization, and there are standards. You don't just bring a solution out in the market and then you do it how you want it. How do you handle vulnerabilities? How do you handle risk and threats? Is your solution well equipped to handle all of these things? Is it updated? Is it up to date? So what this does is to marry whatever you have going on here with industry standards side by side. Industry standards has a scale. What you currently do here has a scale. So when it marries it together, you would see that, oh, for this particular one, it's for vulnerability, it's not yet at industry standard. So you will now know what needs to be put in place to ensure that it comes up to industry standards. I don't know if that makes sense. So we're going to be looking at the different functionalities within the Microsoft Purview Admin Center. Because Copilot is even in everything. So we're going to be looking at the various functionalities within the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So you can see my posture score here. So when this is being assessed, currently Microsoft helps you to protect against data theft. It helps you protect against information theft. It helps you protect against email theft, be it taking out sensitive information from your organization or sending, malicious links and attachments for you to click in. And so it helps you on all of these things. So compliance just takes a data and aggregation of everything and then gives you your posture, your security posture, to tell you that out of everything we've seen within your organization, this is where you are currently. See, based on the data here, we are seeing that I am I at risk? So we are seeing that I am on track. This green is showing that I am on track. The moderate is this middleman. So from this thing here, I am moderate. You can see the like call it pendulum or the meter that gauges the gauge. Yeah. So you can see based on the gauge, I am moderate. This red, or what color is this, orange, is talking about being at risk. From 0 to 60, my posture is at risk. From 60 to 80, I am moderate, I'm fair. From 80 to 100, I am on track. So it now means that there are some things that I will now need to put in place to ensure that I move from being moderate to being on track. So this is what compliance is all about. Ensuring that your organization's security posture is compliant with global accepted standard. And ensuring also that you are implementing the necessary security modules to ensure that you remain on track or you remain compliant with organization standard. That is all compliance addresses. Okay, that is all Microsoft compliance addresses. And then Microsoft security and compliance go hand in hand. There is no security without compliance, and there is no compliance without security, because something has to comply. And then something has to be, there's something that needs to be checked to ensure that it complies, right? So there is no security without compliance, and there is no compliance without security. I hope that makes sense. So when we are looking at security in our future trainings, we are also going to be looking at compliance together. Because if I'm showing you a SIEM, for instance, SIEM, and I'm telling you that it gives us insight into this, but we need to also check that our SIEM is up to date, is compliant with global standard. If it is not compliant, then it cannot properly manage vulnerabilities. when there are vulnerabilities. It cannot manage vulnerabilities, because that's where for typical applications that we have, like maybe our Outlook application, mobile application. Let me use that one as an example that we can relate to. For our typical Outlook mobile application, then we can see that if you don't upgrade or update the application to the newest version, you are at risk of security breaches. So there are bugs in the previous version that might have been corrected in the newer version. And if you don't update, then it means that whatever you see is what you will get. And then if something happens tomorrow, don't complain to the organization, because they made an upgrade, but you chose not to upgrade. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So what's the next one? Intune. So this is where we manage our devices, our endpoints, and everything. Endpoints are just basically devices. It can be your mobile devices, it can be your tablets, it can be your desktops or your laptops. Yeah, it can be all of these devices are known as endpoint. As long as they are connected to the internet, they are known as, or they can access the internet, they are known as endpoints. So this is Microsoft Intune. This is how the interface looks like. But fortunately, or let's say unfortunately, this particular one does not cover our training for this. But just know that Intune is a device management, is a unified device management platform. It helps you manage your devices. It helps you prevent security breaches. It helps deploys applications to your devices. It gives you access to your applications, and it helps you manage your identity and credentials. So that is what endpoint management helps you to do without compromising your endpoints. Okay. So, but if there is a need in the future, we can always bring up training on Microsoft Intune. Right? So what's the next one? Azure. Okay. Yeah, this is Azure Active Directory interface. So this is the foundation of cloud, the cloud foundation for Microsoft 365. This basically helps you to manage all the resources in Microsoft 365, or all the resources in Microsoft, not just the software as a service. This Azure is a platform as a service as well as an infrastructure as a service. So it helps you to manage, you can manage your users, you can manage different objects, you can manage your groups. So the different groups that we create in Exchange Online, we can still manage them from Azure Active Directory. Enterprise applications, if you want to integrate applications seamlessly with Microsoft 365, you can do that through Azure Active Directory. And then you can also create conditions. There's also a conditional access policy that we can create, preventing who has access to what particular application within Office 365. Or you want to prevent people that are not working from the office to have access, or people from a different IP address, prevent them from having access to your organization's services. So you can always do that from here. Azure Active Directory has its protection too. Under the protection, we have the authentication methods, we have the conditional access, we have the password reset, we have identity protection, and we have the custom security attribute. We have the identity governance. We also have the identity governance in Security and Compliance Admin Center also. So we have, So for this particular one, we have privileged identity management. So privileged identity management is just for different administrators with certain privileges, certain rights. Okay, we give them particular rights to manage privileged users or privileged accounts. Okay, and then we have entitlement management, we have access reviews, we have lifecycle workflows. So there are different things within Azure that also helps improve our security posture, and not just improving our security posture, but better manage our identities, better manage our resources, and better manage our infrastructure. That's what Azure helps us. And it also has its own support. If you want to raise a support ticket with Azure, you can always go to Learn and Support, ask them questions, tell them what you need to achieve, and then what you're doing that they can help you better do. And that's that with Azure. And then if you have an AD, a local AD environment, you can always integrate that or hybridize that with Azure Active Directory, okay? So that users that are managing your AD can also synchronize with Azure AD and better manage from the Azure AD standpoint, okay? What is the next one? Okay, we've done the exchange. I think there's one I'm not touching yet. Oh, why is this thing showing me? All right, I think I've not seen SharePoint and Teams. That's the one I'm looking for. I opened them before. So let's just touch SharePoint and Teams, and then we call it a wrap. We have questions and then call it a wrap, and then we look forward to our SharePoint and OneDrive training for next week, Saturday, same time. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is our SharePoint admin center. So we know that SharePoint basically is just for collaboration, right? We use to manage sites, collaborate between teams, share resources, and all of that. That's what SharePoint helps us to achieve. Take, for instance, I want to share a particular document, an Excel sheet, and I want everybody to fill in their information into that Excel sheet. I don't need to create an Excel sheet and send it to your email and then tell you when you are done, send it back to me. No, I can share it as a live document, and then you're doing it on the go, and I'm seeing these changes being effected on the go. So that's one of the things that you can use SharePoint to address, okay? One of the things that you can use SharePoint to address. So this is the SharePoint admin center. It's different from the SharePoint usage center. There is a usage interface. This is the administrator interface where you can make configurations you can create your active sites. When we go to active site, you see the different sites that are being created already within my tenant. So this is what happens. When you have your organization created newly, and then you create different groups in your organization, it shows up automatically in SharePoint sites. So you see I have my 365 group here that I did not create on SharePoint, but because I have it created in my Exchange Admin Center, it shows up automatically in my SharePoint Admin Center. Okay, so you can always create a group here, a SharePoint site here to manage. You know, in SharePoint, we have two sites. We have the communication sites here, and we have the team sites. So when you want to create a site, depending on what you want that site to help you achieve, it will be determinant on the type of site you're creating. If you're going to go for the team site or if you're going to go for the communication site. But don't worry, we're going to look into this. I'm not going to take SharePoint next week. We have someone that's going to handle SharePoint for us next week. So he's going to show us all of these things. He's going to create, and then we're going to see it, how we can use it, and all the things we need to know with the sites in SharePoint. All right, deleted sites. We see the sites that have been deleted in SharePoint. Then we see containers. We look at the different containers that we have right here in SharePoint. Okay. I don't know why my export and delete is graded out. Okay, but and then we have deleted containers. We can check here to know these containers and then policies. We can create sharing policies in SharePoint here and OneDrive. So SharePoint and OneDrive go hand in hand. The only difference between, or the major difference between SharePoint and OneDrive is that one is personal, the other one is organizational, right? So that's the major difference between SharePoint and OneDrive. So at the end of the day, we can create sharing policies here, different permissions and all of that under policies. So we're going to be looking at this more next week. I'm not a guru in SharePoint, so I just wanted to just show us what the admin center looks like and then what we look forward to seeing in our training next week on SharePoint. Then the next one is Teams Admin Center. This is the final one that we're going to be looking at. Okay, still loading. All right, so this is the Teams Admin Center we're going to be looking at Teams. Teams is going to be like the last training that we're going to be having for Microsoft 365 training. So we're going to be looking at Teams, Admin Center, the usage, managing teams, team settings, team policies, the different teams templates. We're going to be using the users, managing users, guest users, external users, different thing, audio conferencing, meeting policies. So we're going to be looking at this as the last training that we're going to be having for Microsoft 365 before we call it a wrap. Okay. So that's that about Teams. Teams is also a collaborative tool used between different team members in an organization. So that's with Microsoft 365. So let me just give us a heads up on what this particular group and training aims to achieve. We're not just going to be doing trainings alone, okay, for every one of us. We're also going to be looking at opportunities to ensure that at least most of us here who are in need of job, whether job changes or new jobs in Microsoft 365, are able to get jobs in terms of startups or upgrading to a different job, be it in Microsoft 365 or in other IT disciplines like cybersecurity. All right, we're going to be sharing different certifications here, and then if there are discounts or if there are free vouchers, we're going to also ensure that we are going to be sharing this information with us. For those of us who will be very interested in writing certifications, unlike myself, you can always take advantage of these, okay, and then ensure that you write as many certifications as to do is that we are also on the lookout for partnerships with others. So if you're here and you have your own organization, whatever you're into, and you're seeking partnerships with us, we are also looking out for partnerships, okay, in different sphere, be it in training, be it in continuous training, be it in managing organizations, helping you deploy Microsoft 365, whatever it is, we are always looking out for how we can partner with you to ensure that we deliver these solutions to, be it you or be it the organization that you want us to deliver this particular solution to. We are always looking out for that. So I don't know if we have any questions before we go. Please ask questions, though. Any questions at all? Let me stop sharing now. So do we have questions before we go? Sorry, let me read what is on the chat. I think someone is... Oh, okay. Thank you for information about the job. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So it's just we doing our own parts. And the truth is that some of us, someone like me, I never did IT until I had to transit from a place of my strength to IT that it felt like, will I survive this? This is too challenging for me. It was very challenging for me. But at the end of the day, we are there and we've seen that the challenges are something that cannot break us. It will even make us. That's at the end of the day. It doesn't break us. It will even make us. And we have to just embrace the challenge as we ride along. And we see that whatever we know, it's best that we also pass that knowledge to others, because the more we are passing that knowledge to others, the more we are also equipping ourselves with the knowledge also. So at the end of the day, we just have to do what we have to do to make sure that we alone don't benefit, everyone benefits. So also, in case you have of an organization that is in need of deploying Microsoft 365, you can always reach out to us at any time. On LinkedIn or on WhatsApp, you can always reach out to us. We've done already for 3 organizations and they've not come back with complaint. So since they did not come back with complaint, it means that we are good to go. We know that we are still improving, we are still getting there, but we are still pushing. And at the end of the day, you are also going to get a percentage from whatever we are doing, and we feel like it's been productive. Why don't we continue it? And so that's just all from my part. Then I also want us to follow me on LinkedIn, follow Babs on LinkedIn, so that we can always keep in touch. I might not have all our numbers saved on WhatsApp. I might not be able to chat with each and every one of us, but I think I'm much more professionally, I'm much more relatable on LinkedIn. So if you chat me up, I can always respond so fast. You know, I'm seeing your picture, I'm seeing your profile, but the truth is I might save a number now, and after some months, if we don't keep in touch, I might start racking my head that, where do I know this person from? Where did I, you know, I will start wondering, where did I meet this person from? But if it's LinkedIn, I know I'm seeing your name, I'm seeing your picture, and over time I get used to your face, I get used to you. And so we can always search me out, same name on LinkedIn, Kingsley Izurike, and I will also do well to search us on LinkedIn too, and then we communicate also on LinkedIn, look out for opportunities together and grow together. So thank you very much, everyone. No question. All right, no question. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this training. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, I'll be sharing something with you on the platform, on the group. Okay, it's a forms, it's a document that will capture your names and your email and what you want to learn. So I will share that form on WhatsApp. So please, okay, so please help us to fill the form, okay? Fill the form. It will really help us to make informed decisions. Please help us to fill the form. Very, very important. Thank you very much, everyone. Please make sure you enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay? Yeah, thank you, Abdullah.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.